a country on the northern tip of Africa, and for many years one of the most wanted countries. A perfect diamond in the world of amateur radio. Continuous efforts to get a Libyan amateur radio license finally succeeded when the local government gave permission to a German team to organize the biggest ever Dxpedition to Libya. An international team of experienced specialists in all different kinds of amateur radio communication was put together. Bringing 9 amateur radio stations on the air means carrying more than 2,400 pounds of radio equipment to Libya. Not only a logistical, but also a financial challenge. Preparation for this project, in cooperation with the Amateur Radio Club in Libya, started back early in 2005, almost 2 years before the actual arrival in Tripoli. Care had to be taken when choosing the location of each transmitting site. The more distance in between, the better, and that's to keep the interference between the 1 kW transmitters to a minimum.
Where is the digital mode?
Special attention was given to modes like moon bounce, meteor scatter, the low bands, and all varieties of the digital modes.
Das, was du drüber gestülpt hast, da jetzt mal zurückziehen, stramm machen. Erstmal mal nur stramm machen, dann die Stelle merken, dann lasse ich hier mal nach.
The most amazing part that I've been so far, setting up the antennas, verticals on the beaches. I didn't have that fun yet. We've been on stations, been already prepared and set up and operated from there. Of course, we built the antennas on some different stations years ago, but it wasn't like in the field expedition where you actually have to build something in the 1 or 2 days. Carrying stones on the beaches, it wasn't part of a plan in Siberia.
We are very, very happy that your choice.
People who are interested in amateur radio meet at the ASSAK Radio Club, the organization for all amateur radio activities in Libya.
لأن الشباب الليبي يعتبر هذا اللقاء فرصة لتعريف.
أخ مصطفى، أول شيء نرحب بك ونرحب بكل الأخوة الأصدقاء من أوروبا ومن أمريكا ومن Italy Zulu 7 Golf X-Ray Bravo. You're 519 59 in Tripoli, yes sir?
Also Alpha 5 Alpha 7 Alpha QRZ.
After the first CQ, the bands were burning and hunting season had begun.
Echo Alpha 5 Fox Delta 859.
Hold the Hotel Bravo 9 Tango, you call?
Giving thousands of stations a new country was one of the main goals of 5 Alpha 7 Alpha operation. The team goal was 50,000 contacts.
That's my preferred frequency, 2493.
It's like, well, a whole bunch, a whole earth is just chasing you.
Rotor, just rotor. Most of the day we've spent making our Wyland work. We have access points at most places throughout the different sites. Wyland working with some 2.4 jig bridges, and I can say that I was the first on the air with 2.4 jig.
Everyone is circling around.
We are on the air from Libya, 5A7A, and what you see, a 4 square for 40, a 4 square for 80, 4 spider beams, vertical antennas, radios, power amplifiers, and all we have is working. The pile-ups are incredible, and we are preparing now for the WWDX contest in CW, and we will take part in the multi category.
9 Hotel 1 X-Ray Tango 59. 723 QZ. Delta Yankee Uniform, you're vertical.
Amateurfunk. Ich mache seit 1975 und habe es noch nicht losgelassen.
I've been an amateur radio operator since 1975, and I've never lost interest. Building antennas is a special challenge for me. I've built antennas like the 80-meter 4 square, which works perfectly.
Scheint hier ganz toll zu funktionieren. Die Sachen passen schon.
My Japanese friend very happy to work with the Libyan station.
Thank you, QRZ. Okay, India Zulu again. Whiskey Bravo 9, India Zulu 59.
Ham radio in Japan is 1 million, but the shortwave is at 100,000.
Thank you, QRZ.
I'm operated from more than 20 countries. So exciting to visit like this, and the operation for the ham radio.
Time and frequencies have been announced well in advance, and stations as far east as Japan are eagerly waiting for the sun to set in Libya, the right time for them to work Libya on the 160-meter band. To activate the low bands, the lowest in frequency and the most difficult shortwave bands of all, is just another goal on the list.
160 meter is my part in this Dxpedition. From my experience, I know that putting out a good signal on 160 meter is one thing, but the receiving side is a higher challenge on the top band. This time we tried two-phased pennant receiving antennas in connection with an RF preamplifier to have the best possible receiving situation. Around midnight we moved the antennas from northeast, Japan, to northwest, North America. For all the other directions we use a coax receiving loop. The transmitting antenna is a 27-meter Titanic right on the beach, and the results of this combination are extremely good. After 5 nights of operation we had already 3,000 contacts in the log, and one of the most fascinating contacts we made was with a station in the South Pacific.
Amateur radio is the most exciting hobby I can imagine. It's as exciting as it was in the very first day to talk over the globe, over the North Pole to stations in Hawaii, and it really makes you shivering.
Roger, QRZ, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha.
I am collecting money for the team's daily meals, and I have to pay everything to the restaurant's cashier. I must be careful with the money, because if something is missing, they won't let me leave the restaurant.
The human ear can't hear too much when operating the digital modes, unlike the traditional voice or classic Morse code, where a selective ear is needed. The computer's the one to copy the digital signals.
Hast du eine genaue Uhrzeit? 5 Alpha, 7 Alpha?
11:24 minus 2 ist GMT.
11.
Ja, für mich ist Amateurfunk eigentlich eine Lebensaufgabe.
For me, amateur radio is a lifetime hobby. I've been an amateur radio operator since 1968, and Libya is a challenge for every radio amateur as there was no activity for many years. We expect the pile-ups to be endless. And what challenges me is the technical part. We have to work with the equipment the group of 30 radio apps put together, and you never know in advance if the equipment will work without major problems.
Alles improvisiert werden. Hier arbeitet man mit Geräten, die andere Leute mitnehmen. Man weiß also vorher gar nicht, ob es klappen wird oder nicht.
Meanwhile, all stations are installed, and all usual modes of communication are on the air. Even PSK ready in slow scan TV for the first time ever from Libya.
America 7 America for SST.
It's so exciting to be here and to do amateur radio, to work pile-ups. It's just unbelievable. We are going to make more than 100,000 QSOs, and we are surprised.
The cold name is Sabrata or Sabrata, Greek cold.
Ich lerne gerne etwas Neues
I like to see new countries, meet people, and learn about their culture. Being married to a radio amateur can be exciting and sometimes exhausting. Preparations took more than a year. First, the invitation was necessary, then the visa, and then a location had to be found. I am a banker, and I took care of the financial matters of the operation.
Andreas dann gerne gehabt hätte, gemacht.
Kommen alle einigermaßen schwach.
Signals are weak at the moment, but they will improve in about an hour. This is due to the typical strong attenuation during high noon. Meteor scatters using the meteor showers from outer space. The ionization traces act as a reflector where UHF and VHF signals are reflected. These reflections can last from microseconds to seconds, or even minutes, and distances of several thousand kilometers are possible.
To the station with Lima, Lima, Lima in the call. Okay, can you give me a correction on the call? I have 0 Lima, Lima.
Well, I think when we leave here, and we can say we made over 100,000 contacts, that'll be one success. And when we clean up in the CW contest, which hopefully we will, that'll be another success. And just meeting all the people, it's just been great.
Wir gehen dorthin, wo andere Leute gerne einen Kontakt machen würden.
We go to places other radio amateurs would like to contact. I know many friends worldwide who badly want to contact Libya. That's why we came here with a big group to give the chance to as many as possible. All of us, individually, experience the thrill of making these contacts possible.
Und wir alle haben ein persönliches Thrill, diese Kontakte zu machen.
QRZ, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha, QRZ.
Delta Kilo 5 Papa Romeo. Delta Kilo 5 Pacific Radio.
Delta Kilo 5 Pacific Radio.
Okay, Delta Kilo 5 Papa Radio, Delta Kilo 5 Papa Radio, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha, einen schönen guten Abend, Deutschland.
Thank you very much for a new one on this band. You're 5 Mustafa. 5 my name is Leo.
Okay, DK5PR, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha, einen schönen guten Abend, lieber Leo. Der Name hier ist Mustafa. Und der ist gut ja hier Gensur, 15 Kilometer von Tripoli in Libyen. Dein Signal hier ist 5 und 9, wunderschön. Mikrofon retour, Delta Kilo 5 Papa Radio, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha.
Okay, DK5 Papa Radio, thank you very much for the information. My duty is mine.
Okay.
And enjoy your expeditions there, and DK5 Papa Radio clear. Thank you on 73.
Alles Gute und Grüße nach Deutschland von Libyen hier.
Amateur radio for me is friendship all around the world, mainly for me with other YL operators, to talk to someone after years and years, for 10 years and more, and then get to know each other. This is just very wonderful.
My thing on this expedition here was the moon bounce. So we tried to do our best to get as much in the log as we can. The main thing was, and especially challenge for me, was to try 6-meter EME, to reach the weak signals and to see the reflections on the spectron which are coming back from the moon. On 6-meter EME I gave the chance to get 2 stations in the log, like W7 Golf Juliet and W1 JJ. And all we did about 72 contacts by EME, with just of 3 days of good moon conditions, so let's see what will come through the next days.
No, Mike 0, I need your suffix. Roger, Mike 0, Juliet Mike Kilo, thank you, 5A7A.
Well, the main thing which is make me extremely happy is to see people. I make friends right away. Never been in Africa, never been in Libya. This is a fantastic opportunity for me to see what's going on here. And I would like to win also WWDX contest for my 19th time in Libya. The excitement is extremely, I can't sleep for 2 days just because I'm so excited. Well, I eat enough, but I didn't sleep enough, just from excitement.
5 Alpha 7 Alpha, 5 America 7 America, calling 10. 5A7A, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha, 5 America 7 America, calling 10. CQ10, 5A7A, 5 Alpha 7 Alpha.
The time when radio amateurs all over the world prepare their radios and antenna systems for the best possible signals is during the last weekend in November each year.
They think they're doing good because the pile-up is good, but the reality is, what's the rate? Yeah. Maybe we need a third operator on 40 meters. I don't know.
This is the time of the Olympic Games at Amateur Radio, the CQ Worldwide DX contest in CW.
10 meter will be DL9 USA as a first operator.
Major antenna repairs right before the contest is a nightmare for every contester. A strong storm during the night washed away one of the 80-meter four-square verticals, and even worse, the support of an important spider beam antenna was damaged. There's no time to wait. The antennas have to be repaired immediately before sunset when the competition begins. During 48 hours of continuous operation, every station tries to work as many other stations and countries as possible. there's no question 5A7A is on the top of the most wanted list.
Change the channel very often. Change the channel very often.
DK7 Yankee Yankee.
This is Falk, Delta Kilo 7 Yankee Yankee, standing on the beach near Tripoli in front of this beautiful 160-meter antenna system. Why am I in Libya? Of course, I could operate from my hometown in Berlin, but more people are interested in a contact with Libya than with Berlin. It's strange, but that's the way it is.
Verbindung mit Libyen tätigen wollen als mit einem Berliner. Ist komisch, aber es ist so.
Coming to Libya is an incredible Dxpedition. Libya is very much desirable to the ham radio community because it's exotic and there haven't been amateur radio operators here in some time. The group will participate both in a Dxpedition, also with the CQ Worldwide competition. I've had the privilege of working with many different ham radio operators from 11 different countries here, and from an operations standpoint of view, we found that we have incredible talent all the way from digital operators, CW, SSB. We have network people here. This is one great team that we have. The personalities seem to work well together, and it would seem as we came from the same family.
The main objective of the thing is that we get together, and we get together not only among us, but 10,000s of people around the world. And this is, I think, a sign of what ham radio can be, one of the ways to promote international understanding among the people.
المسابقة التي ستكون نداءها والبث نداءها 5A7A.
Supporting amateur radio in Libya is one of the major 5A7A goals, because only local radio amateurs can guarantee the continuous existence of amateur radio in Libya.
ما عندكم صعوبة كله
لا 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 أحسن حاجة والطقس تحسن والحمد لله.
كان الطقس صعب.
During 2 weeks of continuous operation, the international team, consisting of Libyan and visiting radio amateurs from 9 different countries, succeeded in making a total of 112,000 contacts, far more than expected, and in this regard, the 4th biggest Dxpedition in the history of amateur radio. With a total of 7,700 contacts in the 160-meter top band, and over 18,000 contacts on the 80-meter band, 2 more all-time world records were set.
Amateurfunk bedeutet, dass sich Menschen aus aller Welt im Funkäther treffen.
Amateur radio means that people from all parts of the world can meet on the air, independent of their religion, nationality, or political orientation. These topics, of course, are taboo in amateur radio. You talk between humans without any borders.
Nun sind wir hier in Libyen, einem Land, in dem der Amateurfunk noch nicht oder kaum beheimatet ist. Und wir haben uns das Ziel vorgenommen, den Amateurfunk hier in Libyen populär zu machen.
Now we're in a country where amateur radio is still young, and it's our goal to make amateur radio public in Libya. That's why we came with 30 amateurs from 7 countries. We brought our equipment, installed everything, and after 2 days of work, we're on the air. We've made many new friends, and I'm convinced that these friendships will last either personally or, of course, by amateur radio.
Ich bin überzeugt davon, dass diese Freundschaft auch nach unserer Abreise erhalten bleibt und wir weiterhin Kontakt mit unseren Freunden hier halten werden. Kontakt persönlicher Art und Kontakt natürlich über Amateurfunk.